It's too late. I see you.
It's very inconvenient to fall in love at your age, especially if it's the real thing.
Am I dying? Is that what this is?
If you live, if you die, it's all up to you.
How am I supposed to decide this?
Mia! I'm crazy in love with you. I'll do anything if you stay.
If I Stay. Tickets on sale August 8th. Rated PG-13.
And welcome to Time About the Movies, everybody. Today we are taking a look at the three films that make up August 22nd, 2014. I said last week we were kind of in that lull between the summer movie season end and the beginning of the fall movie season where the studios put out films they really don't believe in. This weekend, not so much. In fact, I would honestly say that this and the movie that we'll end it off with here are definitely the better of the movies that we have on here. The one in the middle, though, oh boy, that one is an animal on its own merits, but we'll get to that one eventually. But let's start off with If I Stay, which is not as bad as I made it out to be, really, but you have Chloe Grace Moretz playing Mia Hall, though the hardest decision she would ever face would be whether to pursue her musical dreams at Juilliard or follow a different path with the love of her life, Adam. What should have been a carefree family drive changes everything in an instant, and now her own life hangs in the balance, caught between life and death for one revealing day. Mia has only one decision left, which will not only decide her future, but her ultimate fate. So it's essentially a movie that's kind of an out-of-body experience type of film in general, with Chloe Grace Moretz in the leading role here, along with Jamie Blackley as the guy she's fallen in love with. It also has Morel Enos, Aisha Hines from 911, Laura Lane Smith, Liana Liberato, who will later be in another Nicholas Sparks movie later on this year, The Best of Me, Stacy Keach. So there's a decent cast involved in here. This is directed by R.J. Cutler, who directed a couple documentaries. He did, more recently, he did the Belushi documentary, which was really good, as well as Elton John, Never Too Late, which was a very underrated Disney Plus documentary that came out a couple years ago. So he's been kind of a decent director overall. Shauna Cross also wrote this. She also wrote Whip It, which was one of my favorite underrated films from 2009, which coincidentally this is when the book this is based on came out. And overall, it's fine, I guess. It's nothing really anything amazing. It could be a little bit too manipulative at times, like it's trying to grab those cheap emotions out of you. But like I said, we're gonna get to a movie in just a little bit here that's even more manipulative than this. This movie makes the next movie makes this movie look better by comparison. When we talk about emotional manipulation for just what they're trying to accomplish with that, but I'm talking more about the next movie than this movie here. This one's perfectly fine. I think there is a solid idea here overall. It's like they took the idea from that terrible Hayden Christensen movie, Awake, which had a good premise, but a bad execution, and said, okay, let's take this idea, except let's make it so that the person who's unconscious is out in the world and she can actually see what's going on, instead of just having, Hayden Christensen screaming on a table for like 20 minutes and having all this weird twist plot involving Jessica Alba. Again, I'm talking about every other movie except this movie here. This movie does it at least a little better because the acting is much better. You can tell that there's an idea of what they're trying to get across here. It does feel a little too much like they're trying to copy The Fault in Our Stars' success, even though that just came out a couple of months before this, but it's not a bad movie. It's not a bad film at all. It just seems like they're trying to force it a little bit too much, tugging at your heartstrings a little bit, but like I said, it's much better than some other movies that we've talked about and we're going to get to later on down the road here. It's passable. Nothing too spectacular, nothing too amazing. I'd say watch it for the performances, but other than that, though, yeah, it's nothing really all that amazing, so with all that said, let's get to this film that I'm about to talk about here, and that is When the Game Stands Tall. Now, I'll tell you this. I will let you know that when I saw the trailer that I'm about to show you here, all I could think to myself is, all this is happening because they lost one game out of 151 games. Like, this is one of those movies where If I Stay may seem manipulative at times, but it's nothing compared to what I'm about to show you here, because this movie, oh my god, man, this was rough.
If there's anything anyone wants to say, now's your shot.
We will never experience anything like this again in our lives.
My grandfather waits for me to get back from practice just so I can tell him how we're doing.
I love you guys. We always say to finish strong, right?
De La Salle streak and tradition continue.
Our year.
12 years, 151 games in a row. But we were never just about winning. We were built on families
Good, Nicole. Get my baby out of Richmond.
and our town coming together.
The longest winning streak in sports history is now over.
But losing the streak tested us all.
Let some punk pull you down at the 2-yard line.
Dad, please.
Don't let a game define who you are. Let the way you live your lives do that.
It's just a high school football game.
Ever since day one, we've been doing what's best for us. You and me getting out of here together.
You heard from him?
People always ask me what it's like to never lose. Today I am lost. All the things I taught, I don't know if I'm still doing much good here.
I just want you happy and healthy.
DNA! Call 911!
Once again, everything that happens from this point forward is because they lost one game in 12 years. Like, this movie feels like you ever see the Fansville commercials they do during the college football season for Dr. Pepper, where it's clearly a satirical jab at these type of at movies like at movies and TV shows like this? Yeah. Imagine if this is Fansville, except they took it 100% seriously because they lost one game. That's this movie in general here. Inspired by the true story, When the Game Stands Tall tells the remarkable journey, remarkable my ass, of a legendary football coach played by Jim Caviezel, Bob Ladossier, who takes the De La Salle High School Spartans from obscurity to a 151-game winning streak that shatters all records for any American sport. But of course, as I said, they lose one game and then all of a sudden, it's like all hell broke loose. I mean, it's like as soon as they lost that game, the universe just decided to say, "My time to shine." It's like, yeah, here's one of your players getting shot and killed. Here's your coach having a heart attack. It's just kind of like here's your abusive father pushing you around because you didn't do this certain thing. It's just kind of like, this is a joke, right? This has to be a joke. Like I get it. Look, I'm not going to say... Look, I haven't read this book that this movie's based off of, so this is just a personal judgment of the film itself. And honestly, this looks like a much boring, less inspired version of Friday Night Lights. I mean, the acting looks okay, I guess. The directing isn't too bad. This is directed by Thomas Carter, who has made some good movies. We've touched on them a couple times during the show. Metro with Eddie Murphy, Coach Carter, Save the Last Dance. So he's not a bad director overall. And the whole problem with the movie stems from one element. The fact that this all happens because they lost one game of 151 games. If you fall apart this badly because you lost one game, you weren't playing anybody that special. You were basically playing Bishop Sycamore for 150 games in a row. Like, it's just like for those of you who don't know who Bishop Sycamore is, look them up because they're a delightful little story about one of the worst football teams ever put to the field. Not just in college, pro, anywhere. But, yeah. I mean, this whole movie shows nothing but happiness and awesomeness when they win these games. It's like, oh, we're unstoppable, we're unbeatable. But then they lose this one game, and then all hell breaks loose. The dad has to be an asshole to his son because he lost one game. One of the football players gets shot and killed because of losing one lousy game. The coach has a friggin' heart attack not because of the stress, but because he lost one fucking game. You feel me pounding the table, because that's how much this whole thing is so stupid. This whole movie is set up to think that it's only because they lost this one game that all hell's breaking loose, and this town's basically going to turn into Armageddon. It's just kind of like, in Friday Night Lights and We Are Marshall, the teams have a purpose and a reason to struggle with high school football. And both of those movies, as well as other football films at this time, do a great job of showing the struggles they face. In We Are Marshall, the whole thing is that the team crashes, and the team falls apart because, the whole team is dead from an airplane crash. So, yeah, you have to find a way to get back to where you were. Like, that makes sense. That makes sense because, yeah, this is a town dealing with a serious tragedy. All these players, all these coaches, all these people that they loved, all gone from this plane accident. And, yeah, it's something where it's just like, yeah, you get behind it because you want to root this team on. You don't want to root anybody on this team on in general. All you see from them from losing this one game is just like, man, you guys are such the biggest crybabies ever. Like this. Like, it's like they're forcing you to feel sorry for this team because they lost one game and they ended their winning streak. The Chicago Bulls, the Miami Heat, the Pittsburgh Steelers, the New England Patriots, these different sports teams that had these long championship streaks, lost games during the season where they would win the NBA Finals and the Super Bowl. But did anybody die or get sick because of losing that game? No. They let it get past them because they were thinking about the next game ahead of them. You know, LeBron James doesn't get shot by a random person after losing the NBA Finals that year. You know, Ben Roethlisberger doesn't have a heart attack after he loses the Super Bowl back in 2011. You know, Michael Jordan didn't have a neglectful father when he lost one game to the Lakers in the 1991 NBA Finals. You know what they did? They moved on. They practiced what they needed to practice and worried about winning the next game. And they went on to put most of them went on to win championships in the end. But you get my point. Like, I'm sorry, I have no sympathy for this football team whatsoever because of all this. It's just kind of like, you know, it sucks, but you know what? That's just a way of life, and if you can't handle that, yeah, I don't feel sorry for you whatsoever. It's just so damn predictable on so many levels. And not the good kind of predictable, like in Friday Night Lights, We Are Marshall, Remember the Titans, Invincible, Little Giants, you know, these stories about these underdog football teams and these teams that are in a situation that they have to come back from. But no, this is like the people that you need to feel sorry for in Gridiron Gang or The Program or Radio or Air Bud Golden Receiver. The same old predictable story about something happens to these teams that they have to learn to get along and that they can become champions. And again, the book might be like this as well, or maybe not, but this is still a stupid, stupid movie. So much that nobody is going to want to see this film. And sure enough, nobody went to go see it. It was a film that kind of came and went, and nobody really ever talks about it. But it's just like every sport is all these other sports movies I've touched on, you know, other ones that I haven't brought up, you know, like Invincible or The Blind Side, Any Given Sunday, Varsity Blues, Replacements, Leatherheads. They're much better sports movies than this Lifetime Movie of the Week garbage here. It's a stupid-looking movie. It's a terrible-looking film. This feels like another movie where it's trying to force you to feel sorry for this one kid that did something stupid. Breakthrough. Like, I'll never forget how bad that movie was, because it was a movie where it's just like, oh, feel sorry for this kid who did something stupid and fell through the ice, and, you know, instead of his parents actually doing everything they can to save him, just like, no, we're gonna use the power of God to save him. It's just like, no, that movie is fucking terrible too. But this one, I mean, this is just, oh my god, this movie is just so, like, entitled and so childish. Like, the fact that all hell breaks loose because they have never felt a sense of losing in 12 years. 12 years, they have never felt a sense of losing. But then, when this happens, it's just like the world is coming to an end. Like, the bomb has dropped. A nuclear bomb has just dropped. Like, it feels like the sports equivalent of watching something like the Testament or The Day After. It's just like, you lost a football game. Okay, so you move on. Like, it's just like, you get the point. You get the point I'm trying to get across here. This is a fucking terrible movie. This is a movie that is not good whatsoever. The only thing that holds it together is the direction and some of the performances, which are fine on their own, but the script is just a mess. And the whole thing about, oh, feel sorry for this team because they lost 1 out of 152 games. It's like, fuck you. Fuck you so hard, man. Anyway, yeah, that's all I got to say about this movie. Yeah, this is definitely not only the worst movie this week, one of the worst movies of the year, easily. So let's go ahead and get back on track with easily the best movie of the weekend, and sadly nobody went to go see it. But then again, considering that it's been nearly 10 years since the first Sin City movie, there's probably a reason why they didn't go and see it, but they missed out on something really special with A Dame to Kill For.
Get her out of my head. She owns me.
Kill him.
This time she's crossed a fatal line. She betrayed me.
I rule Sin City.
Need your help. Means going up against a lot of guns. Till I defeat the goddess. You're a predator, destroying lives. I'll be coming for you soon. Sin City, A Dame to Kill For.
I mean, honestly, you can't really blame Josh Brolin, man. Ava Green, I mean, Jesus. I mean, yeah, Ava Green is not only beautiful, but she can play a villainous role more than any other female actress we've covered in the last couple of years. Because, yeah, she knocks it out of the park once again in this movie. And this is actually a really, really good movie. And not only a good movie, a really good sequel that comes way after the first movie came out. And yet, nobody went to go see it. Kind of like with the other big surprise of the year, with also Eva Green in it, 300 Rise of an Empire. Again, based off of a Frank Miller book. But co-directors Robert Rodriguez and Frank Miller reunite to bring Miller's Sin City graphic novels to the big screen once again. Weaving two of Milo's classic stories with new tales, the town's most hard-boiled citizens cross paths with some of its most notorious inhabitants. The film features an all-star cast and includes the returns of Jessica Alba, Rosario Dawson, Jamie King, Jude Cicello, Powers Booth, Mickey Rourke, and Bruce Willis, but also adds in Joseph Gordon-Levitt, Josh Brolin, Jamie Chung, Dennis Haysbert, Martin Sakakis, Christopher Lloyd, Julia Garner, Juno Temple, Ray Liotta, Stacey Keach, Christopher Maloney, Alexa Vega, I keep forgetting that she changed her last name, Alexa Penavega, Lady Gaga, Jeremy Piven, Christine McCallum, and the aforementioned Ava Green. And yeah, the original Sin City is one of my favorite movies, man. It's a movie that helped to set the tone for the way we look at comic book movies nowadays. And we knew that they were eventually going to make a sequel 9 years later, but still we got it. I mean, in 9 years, it took them to put a follow-up together. For a property like this, you can't wait too long. This isn't like Godzilla or Ninja Turtles, which are long-standing franchises that can sell on its own name. I mean, Sin City just isn't really a profitable franchise that could sell its film mainly on the name. I mean, the box office sadly proved that fact in general here. It also doesn't help that Frank Miller has turned into one of the most detestable people on the planet for what he did with All-Star Batman and Robin, Holy Terror, and of course The Spirit, one of the worst movies I've ever seen in my life. So yeah, this was going to be a hard movie to sell to people in 2014, and you know, I actually did kind of enjoy this movie. It's nowhere near as good as the first one, of course, but it certainly kicks the crap out of The Spirit. I mean, it's a good follow-up. It's a good follow-up to one of the more innovative comic book movies of its time, and there's a lot I liked about it. One, the visuals I thought were pretty good. I thought they were actually very well done, easily fitting into the Sin City motive that they set up in the comics and in the first movie. Powers Booth, I think, sells this movie in general. I thought his performance as Rourke was great in this, Senator Rourke. I mean, he's not just a great actor, but when he plays this role, he goes completely over the top and just nails it. I mean, he's great to watch in this. Mickey Rourke, once again, giving another solid performance in this movie. I mean, you know, he knocks it, again, he's that cool, slick badass he was in the first movie, where he just doesn't care about life, but he lives it to the fullest. I mean, the best line in the movie from him is where he's just going like, looks like Christmas. I mean, a bad line, but for Marv, I mean, the way he does it, it just works. Ava Green's naked through the majority of the movie. Maybe that's why I love her so much in this. But no, Ava Green, I've always liked her as a badass villain. I mean, she really is great to watch in this. I mean, like, again, like, why cast Marion Cotillard in villain roles, Christopher Nolan? Like, you get, like, Ava Green does a better job as a villain than her or Salma Hayek in Savages or so many other movies where, you know, these actresses who are trying their best to be villains and they're just not really working it, man. The song, the end theme by Steven Tyler was surprisingly really good too. Like, Skin City actually is a pretty damn catchy song in general here. It just makes you kind of forget the way the movie ends, which is very uneven, which does lead to the biggest problems with the movie, and there's three big ones in particular. First up, there are a lot of cliches that set in too fast. Look, Joseph Gordon-Levitt is somebody that I will always defend, and I will always go see anything he's involved in. He's great in this movie too, but he plays a character who can't lose, and you know exactly what's going to happen to him. The film doesn't even try to make us think otherwise. We know what's going to happen to him. The same thing can be said for the Dwight-Ava subplot. We know that Ava's using Dwight, and we know that Ava's going to use Dwight to get her ways. And not only that, but she does the same thing with the cop as well. And we already know that this is going to end, and when that happens, it's just like, oh, what a shocker. It's just like, why did I even bother getting involved in this? The time jumps in this movie are out of control, too. That's the second biggest problem here. Like, at one point, the film feels like a sequel to the first film, but then out of nowhere, it just completely changes the story and takes place before the first film. And there's no way to tell what time period it is. It's like Frank Miller loved the idea of, you know, going around the concept of time and space, just like he did in All-Star Batman and Robin, and said, I can do this in movie form, because that's exactly what it feels like when you watch this movie. Third, the first movie perfectly bookends the movie itself with a Josh Hartnett character, but here, it really has no real point to it. Jessica Alba's Nancy gets her revenge on Powers Booth's Rourke by killing him, and then, that's all, folks. I'm not even kidding. The movie literally just ends with that, and it's just kind of like, that's it? I mean, really, you're ending it there? It's just like you're not even going to set up any potential sequel or anything? It's just like, it felt like by the end, nobody gave a shit by the end of the movie, and Frank Miller just said, that's all, folks. Just end it here. I don't care about ending this. And it's just like, you can't have that mentality about ending something that you can't even finish. Like, I don't care if you don't give a crap about anything anymore. It's just like, after the shit you pulled with the Batman comics and all that, but, like, I mean, show us that you still give a crap and not just be a selfish dickhead. I mean, honestly, just be a better person, man. Honestly, just, yeah, it's I mean, I'm honestly more torn about this movie in general. I mean, it's okay, I guess, but it's definitely, far from okay. I'd say it's a good movie. It's definitely a step down from the first film. It's like they wanted to make this happen, but they also kind of didn't want to make it. It felt more like they were about to lose the rights or something, so they said, hey, let's go ahead and make this movie, see if we can get anything out of it. And there's a lot I liked about it, but overall, when I came out of the film, I was just kind of like, I was underwhelmed by it. I was underwhelmed by it at first, but the more I think about it, I've come to really appreciate it more. But even then, I can't really argue that it's a good movie either way, shape, or form. But hey, it at least kicks the crap out of the spirits, so there is at least that. So I have to give the movie credits points where points are due. So, not much more to say about it. Sin City, A Dame to Kill For. And thus, with all that said, we wrap up another episode of Time About the Movies, and let's just say that the next couple of weeks are going to be rough. I mean, I looked ahead, and the next couple of weeks literally do not have anything of noteworthiness to talk about, but next week we'll take a look at As Above, So Below, which is the latest Universal horror movie, and we also have Pierce Brosnan as the November Man with one of the stupidest lines that I've ever heard in an action movie that's supposed to be taken seriously. We also have Life of Crime, which is a film based off of an Elmore Leonard novel featuring a star-studded cast. And you would think that with a lot of people involved like Jennifer Aniston and Will Forte among the cast, you would think it'd be somewhat decent, but not so much. But we're going to get to that one as well. And we'll talk about those three films coming up on the next episode. That'll be tomorrow. But with all that said, thank you so much for watching this. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please go ahead and do me the honors of hitting that like button, that subscribe button, and that notification button. And also, don't forget to check out our playlist, and don't forget to check out the previous episode. So with all that said, whether it's in the past, the present, or the future, I will see you at the movies. Take care. I almost forgot to do the thing. Take care.